So, you've got this brilliant idea, right? You've launched your business, things are looking good, but now comes the real test. How do you possibly survive when the competition inevitably comes knocking? Today, we are breaking down the ultimate defense strategy for any business out there. I want you to think of your business as a castle. It's your fortress, the thing you've built from the absolute ground up. But, every castle needs defenses, especially when rivals are trying to storm the gates. So the question becomes, what's protecting yours? No, seriously, think about it for a second. When a competitor just straight up copies your features, or undercuts your price, or even mimics your marketing, what is the one thing you have left that they just can't touch? What is your last stand? Because that last line of defense, that right there, that is your ultimate competitive weapon. You have to understand, every truly great idea is destined for a fight, and you've got to be ready for it. It's just a fact of life and business. Success is like a beacon. It attracts attention, and with that attention, you guessed it, comes competition. It is never a matter of if, but always when. So, how do you prepare the castle for a siege? Well, you build a moat. And in the world of business, that moat has a name. It's called the core. And really understanding this is the key to building a business that can actually last. So what exactly is the core? Put simply, it's the one thing your business does that your competitors can't copy. Or, at the very least, they can't copy it easily. It's your unique, defensible advantage. Yeah, that's it. Your core is that deep, wide moat all around your castle. It's the final and most crucial barrier that keeps competitors from getting in and protects the crown jewels of your business. It's your last and honestly your best defense. Okay, so a really strong core has 3 critical traits you've got to look for. First, it has to be unique. I mean, genuinely hard for someone else to replicate. Second, it has to be important to your customers. It has to connect directly to why they chose you in the first place. And third, a great core grows. It actually gets stronger over time, making your castle even more secure. So, how do we actually build this moat? Sounds great in theory, right? Well, let's get practical. We're going to look at 4 proven strategies you can use to establish your own core. First up, strategy number 1. It's a total classic and maybe one of the most powerful modes ever created, the network effect. This is where your product or your service becomes more and more valuable as more people use it. This quote just nails it perfectly. The value doesn't just go up in a straight line, it's exponential. See, each new user doesn't just add one little bit of value, they increase the value for every other person on the network. That creates this incredible gravitational pull. Just think about it, right? Why are you on Facebook? Because everybody you know is on it. Why do sellers flock to eBay? Because that's where all the buyers are. LinkedIn, Google, these giants built their fortresses on the network effect. Once you hit that critical mass, it almost becomes illogical for your customers to go anywhere else. All right, let's move on to strategy number 2. This one is less about tech and way more about people and process. I'm talking about exceptional customer service. Now, this might sound simple, but let me tell you, it is incredibly difficult to do well consistently. And the real power here, the real magic, isn't just about making people happy. It's about keeping them as customers at such a high rate and inspiring so much positive word of mouth that your customers literally become your most effective marketing and sales team. Now, that is very, very hard for a competitor to copy. You see, companies like Zappos and Warby Parker, these guys are legends for this stuff. Their commitment to making customers happy is so deep in their company culture that it becomes their defining, defensible characteristic. It's their core. Okay, on to our third strategy, and I'll be honest, this one is tough to master. Lowest cost. And we're not talking about just running a sale for a weekend. This is about fundamentally structuring your entire business, your processes, your supply chain, your culture, to be the undisputed low-cost leader for the long haul. I mean, Walmart is the textbook example, right? Their entire empire is built on this core. We also see it with so many large-scale Chinese manufacturers who can leverage these insane economies of scale. When you can consistently offer the same value for less money, you've built a very powerful moat. And that brings us to our final strategy, one that's really defined so many of the products we all love over the last couple of decades. User experience, or UX. This is all about being the absolute best at creating a seamless, intuitive, and just plain delightful experience for your user. And this is so crucial. A great UX isn't just about a pretty design. It's a relentless, company-wide culture of excellence. It's a core built on the belief that every single interaction a customer has with your product has to be exceptional. That dedication, that is your defense. Okay, we've talked about the what and the why, but now for the part that really matters. How do you figure out your core? This isn't something you're going to find by looking at your competitors. It's an exercise in looking inward. And just so we're clear, this isn't about digging through market research reports or analyzing spreadsheets. Defining your core is more like a journey of self-discovery for you and your founding team. It's about understanding your unique DNA and figuring out what gives you an authentic, sustainable advantage. So where do you even begin? Start by asking your team these 4 essential questions. First, what are your unique assets? We're talking skills, knowledge, special tech. Second, what's your passion? What do you and your team genuinely love to do? Third, analyze your competitors. What can they realistically do, and where are they weak? And finally, focus on your customers. What do they truly, truly want from you? Your core isn't in any single answer, but it's at the intersection of all 4. You have to remember this. The core is not just another feature or a catchy marketing slogan. It is your business's last and most important defense against the competition. It's the thing you protect at all costs. So, we've laid out the blueprints and the strategies. You now have the map to building a defensible business. The only question left is, what kind of fortress are you going to build? And what will be your unbeatable core?